2, 1, let's go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Cartoon Clash. We're back with another episode, and this time we are doing the marvelous misadventures of Flapjack versus the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy. Both have adventures in their name. That's neat.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. That's an
and they were a few years before Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Trying to get the kids to go out and explore, do something with your lives, people.
Come on.
I just realized this matchup would have been perfect for Halloween, but it's
Yeah. But yeah, this is gonna be way after that.
just upload next Halloween.
Yes, there you go.
We'll wait that long.
Just cut this particular bracket out and save it for next Halloween. There you go. No, it's like what depending on who wins, it'd be like several.
Oh yeah. So we gotta record like multiple variations of the same bracket.
Yes,
it'll be fun.
Yeah. So Flapjack, Billy and Mandy, both pretty hilarious shows. I have a personal bias because I love Flapjack and its setting, and I think it's just like really funny. And I also really like the style of it. It has like a super weird like backgrounds in it. It's like the whole nautical theme and everything. It's great. I love.
Well, we only know you love it because of Bubby.
Yeah,
right?
Bubby's like
like
one of the only cetaceans that's like a mainstream main character.
Yeah, there you go.
I just love the style of it, like it's the stormy weather and stuff, and like I know a lot of people say it looks disgusting, but I just love the grimy look to it.
It's a cool setting. It's absolutely a neat setting, and I recently did a video about Over the Garden Wall, and we talked about this, Paleo, how like it's Flapjack from a point of view of like in the industry. There was a lot of talent that worked on that show and got their feet wet and did their own thing like years later. So yeah, I mean that's pretty cool, and you can definitely see it. Like I mean, at least for me, when I watch Flapjack, I'm like, oh, this humor is like similar to Adventure Time and Over the Garden Wall, and I get some.
You can
vibes
definitely
from
see
it,
a
too.
lot of the like the proto like humor in that show compared to the ones that came after it.
Yeah, because like I remember like the main character Flapjack is voiced by that like Wood Witch that was in Adventure Time.
He's
So it's
Thor Van Orman, which is he looked like such a manly man, but he has like a super high voice.
His voice is awesome. I love it when creators themselves are like, wow, you're not just a great artist and writer and like creator, but you're also an amazing voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so great.
I also like how in every interview or like every YouTube video he uploads, he always has to clarify, yes, this is my actual voice. I don't get someone else to dub over what I'm saying. What I sound like.
So that show is like, it's one of those shows where you go and you watch it, and at first you don't know how it's going to be because it has that very recent SpongeBob gross out humor factor to it, but it's like enjoyable in the sense. It's like there's scenes that are just stupid. Like they had a whole thing where they know the show is ugly, where they like say your face is meant to hit like a fist, your beauty, yes. They were like doing a take on that beautiful song. It was like in a promo for it, and it's just like the show is like has ugly moments and some really really disturbing moments, which I feel like if I saw this around the same time like Courage and all that came out, I'd be having nightmares because there's some nightmarish imagery and voice acting in this, and it's just like, oh yeah,
all your dreams will come true, even the scary ones. Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then like the thing with that dude who told just nothing but puns, and his body just started to dement and like deteriorate to this evil thing. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? Or that one where like is when it's like, oh, this is gonna be your trolley driver, and it's like this really disgusting woman.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you just see Knuckles go, ooh, and then just that like face it.
I have a question for you guys. So something that's interesting to me. Did you guys notice a shift in tone from like the original Cartoon Friday shows and then I guess the eventual arrival of things like Camp Lazlo, Flapjack, Grim and Evil? I know Grim and Evil or Billy Mandy was kind of like a weird segue between Cartoon Fridays and like I guess the late 2000s stuff.
Yeah, because like I noticed there was like this sort of self-referential thing that they really took like hand with. Like one of the things I noticed a lot about today's cartoons, not necessarily like, well, these came out when I was in high school. So like these cartoons like today to go into what I'm about to say is like the conversations feel more like natural. They have more like things like they have a stutter effect where like it's just like and it's just and it's weird. Like before, usually just be like a sentence line, and it's just I'm reading lines for a cartoon, but now they're putting those like stutters where it sounds more organic and realistic.
Yeah,
and,
they're trying to be more relatable with it, like to have it feel less like an actual cartoon and more like focus on the relatability. And that I think that's what I like about Flapjack. To bring it back to that is that with the jokes in that show, you never know what you're gonna get, but most of the time, you still get some dialogue in between the more comedic scenes and the more comedic moments, more so than I had the feeling with Billy and Mandy. Not to say that it's bad how they did it, but like they had a nice mixture between that.
Yeah, because I feel like some of that humor, like dialogue humor, sometimes doesn't work as well as a kid as you are an adult.
It's just like so like with Flapjack and Billy and Mandy. Like Billy and Mandy has some jokes that completely went over my head as a kid, but I did enjoy it. But then there's some stuff like you go back and watch it and you can appreciate like little jokes like a freaking Yogi Bear being a crack addict. Like, I need a picnic basket. Come on, boo boo. Freaking out over it. It's just.
Do you remember? I remember he said, "Get over here, you little bastard." That's what everyone on the internet at the time thought he said. He said bastard, but I don't know. He said, "Get over here, you little
basket," but then it sounded like yeah, cause I think he was because Yogi in his baskets. I think he had that anger behind it, like "Get over you little bastard." It's just like one of those things that it works so well. Like the comedy in the show, they would bring in references from other like shows that are already established. Like the whole thing with the Kids Next Door when they had that whole crossover, it was just like, oh wow, the Kids Next Door is part of this universe, and they're gonna have this whole thing, and then Mandy tries to take over. Like it was just, I love the crossovers they had with that.
Yeah, I had to rewatch some Billy and Mandy episodes because I wasn't quite as familiar with that as I was with Flapjack. But there's this one episode where like Billy and Mandy are like having a court case against like who gets to keep Grimm.
Oh, you mean the Fred Burger episode?
Yeah.
He's like, yes, come out. And he's just like, why are you here?
I was gonna say like some of the witnesses they come out, like Scooby-Doo is a witness. Like against Mandy.
It still works because it was funny on its own. You didn't need to understand the reference because there were a lot of references to horror movies. Like they had Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yeah, they did. They had Pinhead from Hellraiser and the Boogeyman, and like it was just like, what the heck happened to your face? Oh, I'm a teenager. We all look like this man. Is this goth kid with like rings and all this stuff? It's just like
there was also another episode.
Got like more I guess like I feel like the humor originally was more like when I first saw Billy and Mandy, I was like, okay, like it's just kids going off on adventures and being silly. But then they got like the humor was this weird blend of like dark but also like really like I don't know, meta stupid, and it was hilarious.
Meta stupid.
Yeah. It was it really was meta stupid. I agree with Saber completely. Like there's jokes in that show.
It
is so funny. Like there is some scenes
absurd, I guess.
Yeah, absurd. Yeah, completely absurd. Like to me personally, I was one of those. I didn't care for the Hector Concarne part of it because it used to be Grim and Evil, and then they split off, and there was like it was like Grim Adventures, Billy Mandy, and then Hector Concarne, but then they canceled Hector Concarne, and like Scar from Hector Concarne went on. He was a neighbor in Grim Adventures, Billy and Mandy. But the thing was like Billy and Mandy was just always that the comedy in it was so great. Like the whole thing with Billy's parents and like his dad being like so dismissive and horrible. Like
I remember as a kid, I was I think in like middle school or high school, whatever. But there's an episode with like they had a Speed Racer episode. Mm-hmm. And Puddin won because he was in a wagon. I don't know. I think all the other races like destroyed each other, and he like I loved how like at the end everybody's cheering, and Puddin's like starts crying.
Yes. Or like when he had to fight that demonic rabbit, that was like just chasing his ass. That was a great one.
Yeah, he's like getting into a truck and running him over.
Yeah, and the rabbit had to have his face ripped off.
One thing I wanted to bring up is the style of the show, and I think it's the last Cartoon Network show to really take its inspiration from like Hanna-Barbera. From like that era of cartoons.
Yeah, because Billy and Mandy was kind of also the last show to do the whole like regular cartoon and then like a midway cartoon like a Justice Friends or
But then like but even though Billy and Mandy's great, like I will sleep on Flapjack. Like Flapjack has a ton of episodes that I watch that I'm just like, Well, you know what? I'll say this about Flapjack. Flapjack has a ton of episodes that I love and I think are great. Like the whole thing with like Bubby like leaving for like a week, and then Flapjack just like breaking down like, why did you leave me? Why? And then he's just like, what? Because she starts deflating. It's like, oh honey, don't worry about that. That's just Bubby's like decoy, and she like comes back from her and it's just like she was fine. And then of course like me and Paleo like make this joke all the time that like grow up, I'm 30 years old. It's just such a random joke.
Grow up. I'm 38 years old.
Yeah, how about going off on Flapjack? But like, I wanted to throw another thing out. Grim and Evil had one of my favorite waifus early on. So I had a handful when I was like getting into it.
Oh, Eris.
Yeah, dude. Iris was
so fun.
I got upset because then she got this weird gap in her cheek.
Yeah, what the heck? You noticed that too? Because, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you mentioned this because they had this weird design with Eris. Like the first time she showed up, she was like, all right, second, she looks all right for a girl. But then second time she shows up in the Dragon Ball Z episode, she looked fine as fuck. Like everything was on point with her design. But then later on, they did this weird thing where they gave her a gap and they made her like gave her weird eyes. It didn't look
shorter
right.
As well. They made her more cartoon, which is fine. And also like again, like in the same vein, I was talking about how like the show got goofier because there was like I don't know, like because when she really showed up, I was like, oh, you know, it's kind of a sexual tension and mischief. But then she became more like dorky, and there was like. God, there's that one face where she like opens her mouth and she laughs and her eyes like go off in different directions. I don't know. That kind of just solidified how like Grim and Evil or Billy Mandy just went like it was like goofy to begin with and they got really, really fucking goofy later on. It's like, wow, you guys doubled down hard.
Yeah, because Billy and Mandy like changed a lot over time. Cause like you go back to like the college short film and then the pilot episode, then like season 2 and then like the final what's that Hostogato Underfist?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Hostogato. I can't believe we didn't went this whole thing without talking about Hostogato. I think I've earned a free hot dog. I've been bitten by ghosts, fought in rattles.
Guys, I was gonna go vote for Flapjack originally, but I'm starting to like kind of like lean over the
yeah. You know what? I just to give some more praise to Flapjack real quick. Like they had certain episodes. I did care for. I love that Knuckles was voiced by, you know, the Flying Dutchman. Yeah, the Flying Dutchman from friggin'. He just did that voice so perfectly, and it was just great. And seeing the way he acted with Flapjack, and then Flapjack stupid. I love that laugh so much. I love that laugh. I
prefer the characters in Flapjack over the ones in Billy and Mandy.
Well, yeah, the characters are likable. Like, honestly, if you think about it, like, hanging with Flapjack characters would be more likable than Mandy would just, like, dom you and just be like, you're gonna do this for me today. Erwin's a dick. Frickin' Billy's an idiot.
Hey, what's up, yo?
Mandy, you want to take a cruise in my bathtub?
By the way, in Flapjack, I feel like I've been ranting too much on Grimm, but I like how in Flapjack, candy is like their currency.
Yeah, it's their currency. Like Peppermint Larry's place is just the place to be. And he has a candy wife.
Candy wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird, and it was like claymation. Like that's one of the things I did like about Flapjack is like they incorporated like live action claymation.
Yeah, it was
stuff.
very similar to Chowder at being around at the same time. They remember like Hard Thursdays. With like,
oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Oh my god.
Which ran longer?
I think Chowder ran longer. Like Flapjack got canceled because I think it was too disturbing. And so it was just like one of those things where it was just really. I mean, there was an episode of Flapjack I really liked where he got a crush on this girl called Sally Syrup.
Oh yeah, then, like, he thought he had a crush, but he actually had a parasite.
These hearts. And this guy was eating the hearts like they were like these bugs or something like that. Yeah. And this guy was eating them. It was like, you're in love, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, but at the end, it was just like, I will never forget you, Sally Syrup. And I was like, oh, that's adorable. But I'm going Billy and Mandy. Sorry.
I'm going Flapjack. I have a bias. Like, Flapjack all the way for me.
Let's do a rundown here. So
I just love the crazy demented humor of Billy and Mandy because I think my favorite episode was the Trikey episode.
Cotton, what do you think?
I'm voting Flapjack. I didn't really change my opinion, to be honest.
Well, final vote, I guess.
Save yourself you.
No, it's real talk though. Like Flapjack for its like influence in the industry. And
yeah. JG Quintel was one of the like creator directors, I think.
Yeah, there's some great talent that came from Flapjack. Had some great characters, great setting, great everything. But my God, I can't fucking start like Billy and Mandy like just made me laugh harder and was more ludicrous with its craziness. I'm gonna go for Billy and Mandy.
So Billy and Mandy moves on.
He's gone.
For the record, this was a tough one. Like this.
Yeah, this was a tough
This was
one.
very tough.
This is one of those ones, like all the other ones we did, like I was sort of like, I know who I'm going to choose for. This one was like, oof, I don't know. It was too good.
All right, so yeah, Billy and Mandy moves on to the next round.
God damn it, Flapjack!
Bye, everybody.
Bye.